So, what's the Democratic primary all about this year? My name is John Kuiper, and I'm running for governor as a Democrat. The vote is September 10th. Let me just lay it out for you because it's actually pretty simple, okay? There's three people running. The first person to announce that they were running was a woman by the name of Cindy Warmington. Now, she has been on the executive council. She's in her second term on the executive council. Prior to that, she was an attorney and a lobbyist. And most notably, and this is what the Republicans are going to hammer her for if she wins the primary, she was a lobbyist for Purdue Pharma, the maker of OxyContin. Now, this was 20 years ago, but the problem is they've got her on video in a Senate hearing testifying that OxyContin was not habit forming and totally safe. And the problem was they were having this hearing because we knew at the time that it wasn't safe and that people were overdosing. And she really has yet to make amends for that. She has not really begged for forgiveness and has not really said that she regrets it. And in fact, she was on WMUR, and Adam Sexton asked her twice if she regretted her work for Purdue Pharma, and she did not say that, which is telling because she's received a lot of donations from doctors that were operating pill mills around the state of New Hampshire. And as we all know, OxyContin created the heroin epidemic. So that's really her major flaw in her candidacy. Now, the next person to get into this race was a woman by the name of Joyce Craig. And if you're not in Manchester, you may not know this, but she was the mayor of Manchester for a number of years. And she beat a lot of Republicans, obviously, a number of Republicans to be mayor. And I had thought that she had this race in the bag. That was until she announced she wasn't running for mayor again, obviously, because she was running for governor. So she endorsed a gentleman by the name of Kevin Kavanaugh, who is a longtime player in Manchester politics. The problem is he lost the mayoral race in Manchester a couple months ago. And in his place was a guy named Jay Ruiz, who is a Republican. Now, why is this bad news for Joyce Craig? Well, this means that the independent folks of Manchester and that, had voted for Joyce Craig in the past swung to Jay Ruiz, swung to the Republican. So that's not a good sign because it means that she may not be able to win those folks. If they weren't willing to vote for her endorsed successor, are they going to vote for her in the coming election? I doubt it. And the other problem that Joyce Craig has, and that what the Republicans have been hammering her on, is pretty simple. She was a mayor of a major city in the United States, the biggest city in New Hampshire, and therefore, because it's the biggest city, it has a lot of problems such as homelessness and, heroin needles on the ground, crime, this sorts of things. And the Republicans are going to say, and what they're already saying is, do you want the rest of New Hampshire to look like Manchester? Because you do not. And the fact is, for better or worse, Manchester in general does not have a great reputation with people outside of Manchester. The people that are there love it, and they have seen it get a lot nicer over the last 10 or so years. But for many people on the outside who don't go to Manchester that often, when you do, you might see some homeless people. You might hear about crime coming out of Manchester. So generally, the net view of Manchester is not really very positive. And this is what a lot of the supporters of Cindy Warmington are saying. They're saying Joyce Craig can't win simply because of Manchester. Now, meanwhile, the Joyce Craig people are saying Cindy Warmington can't win because of Purdue Pharma. Now, here's where I come in. I think that both of these people are correct. I think that Cindy Warmington will lose because of Purdue Pharma, and I think Joyce Craig will lose because of Manchester. I think Joyce Craig will come closer, and she might even win, but I think realistically they're both going to lose to Kelly Ayotte. And if you look at the polling, the only polling that we've gotten, which was done, frankly, months ago, it shows both of them losing to Kelly Ayotte. That's why I got into this race. I think they're going to lose. I think I can win. Why can I win and where they will lose? Because I'm an outsider. I am not a career politician. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lobbyist. I'm just a normal person trying to survive in a tough economy. I'm a small business owner. I got a kid in the public school system. I'm just doing my best to manage my life in New Hampshire, and I'm looking to help other people be able to afford to stay in New Hampshire by creating more affordable housing. Okay? So that's what it comes down to. Do you want to go into battle against the Republicans with a lobbyist for Purdue Pharma, or a former lobbyist for Purdue Pharma, a former mayor of Manchester, or a small business owner? And obviously I've got my problems too. I haven't raised nearly as much money as the other folks. I'm not politically connected. I'm not wealthy. I don't have a bunch of rich friends. And this is what the Republicans will attack me on, as not being qualified for the job because I'm not one of the elites. Okay? So that's it. That's pretty much the race. And, I hope you vote for me. The vote is September 10th. Thank you.